right, y'all. What's up? What's up? We got ourselves got ourselves another week full of speculation on week 5, plus a bunch of damn rumors. It's gonna be a little fun getting a hold of those things. But first, let's start with my Cowboys. Cowboys lost their ass to the 0-2, formerly 0-2 Cardinals. But I tell you what, it wasn't as bad as what happened to the Denver Broncos. That, my friends, you lose by 50. 50. This isn't some Division I school, playing a JUCO. I mean, it's kind of what it looked like. But how the hell does Miami put up 70 points? 70 points on you. I mean, you can't even blame Russell Wilson at that point. I mean, he played all right. I mean, look at his numbers. Played decent. But my God in heaven, 70 freaking points. I think they said that was the worst beating any team has taken since, I believe, maybe the worst in the Super Bowl era, which is stunning. Talking like over 50 years. Oh, what is that coach's name? Former Saints coach Sean. I have that right. What is his name? I want to look it up. I want to look it up. Y'all don't have to tell me. Let's see here. Denver head coach. Sean Payton. That's what I thought. Sean Payton. It's horrible. Hold on. I was bringing up Denver. Oh, it didn't do it that time. Damn. The first time I did it, the first thing that came up was the freaking score of that game. Oh, not what you want to see. Not what you want to see. Yes, sir. Thank you. Success is us together. Well, that's a nice name. Not a whole lot of nice that goes on this channel, but I appreciate the name. Yeah, Sean Payton. Let's get to this first thing. As far as rumors go, ACC. I'm on vacation this week, so I'm just screwing around the house, and I'm like, hey, Greg Flugar's live. Kind of weird, little early on a Wednesday to go live, but I checked it out, and he's reading an article written by some person in Carolina somewhere, talking about, and I don't know, I guess he's plugged in certain ways because he's from that ACC area footprint, if you will. Talking about Clemson looking to get the hell out of there and soon. And they say, hey, UNC, Florida State, probably maybe another team. Hell, maybe the Magnificent Seven. Maybe everybody, who knows, is going to go flying out of there. And, of course, no information on how they're going to make that happen other than strength in numbers. I actually think there's already been some things decided in the ACC. I think they will make that happen. And I believe it behooves the ACC to help make that happen. And, let me get to a couple of these comments, then I'll finish up on that thing. Big Lubbock, thank you. Appreciate that. I do like being on vacation. I like doing nothing. It's nice. It's not true. I've been busy. But still, it's good busy. Let's see. Big 12 needs to get Louisville and Pitt. We'll talk about some of that. But this depends on the smaller brands of the ACC. What do I mean by smaller brands? I'm talking about Syracuse, Boston College, Wake Forest, Pitt, Louisville, Georgia Tech, schools like that. What do I mean by depend on? You see, to me, the ACC is going to have to broker a deal to get them out, right? Kind of like what the Big 12 did with Texas and Oklahoma. Hey, you won out early. Let's work something out. We know it's supposed to be $80 million per school. Y'all don't want to pay that. So they worked out a deal to where Texas and Oklahoma really don't feel the money at all. And the total price is $100 million for both schools to leave a year early. So it worked out for everybody. Now, why in the hell would these smaller brands want to work anything out? And I mean anything out with the larger brands, letting them go before 2036. Why? Because they're going to be gone anyway. You can kind of control that and get paid for that to facilitate that leaving early. It's really early, but they didn't bring in Stanford, Cal, and SMU for nothing. All right. Number one, you piss off your TV partner, and don't tell me ESPN isn't hugely pissed having to pay out 3 more teams money, full freaking shares for 3 more teams. That there's no way in hell, if they had any option, if it was ESPN's decision, they sure as hell would not have given up 3 full shares for SMU, Stanford, and Cal, because it doesn't matter what those 3 schools are actually going to get. I know Stanford and Cal are going to get like a third share or something, like $10 million a year. SMU ain't getting jack shit for a decade. That doesn't matter because the ACC is going to collect 3 full shares and then divvy that up. Trust me, that pisses off ESPN. They don't like it at all. But that's what they did. Because they don't want their money. They don't want ESPN to be able to come back and lower their money because they don't have enough teams, right? So preemptive strike, you grab those 3 teams. But it goes beyond that. Because they know those at least those 3 schools, UNC, Clemson, and Florida State, are gone. They're going to leave. Possibly Miami might jump on board with this. They did say possibly one more. Could be all the Magnificent Seven, but I don't know about that. I mean, how much information is reliable from this person none of us have ever heard of, from some newspaper or something that no one's ever heard of? That's one of my issues there. However, Brett McMurphy had talked about it, and what he's saying, it could be as early as October. Possible. He's hearing October, speculating maybe November, but that's during the football season, which is crazy to me. But they're saying 2023, which is still crazy to me that that could be done anytime before the very end. Like I'm talking about before the national championship is played, that would happen. That's crazy. Not saying it won't. I don't know. It just seems nuts. However, these smaller brands, though, because they would have to sign off for the ACC to do that. Yes, they are members of the ACC. Yes, they do have a voice. They have a vote. If they don't want to do it, it ain't going to get done. But what's in it for them? Each one of the schools that leave, however many it is, that's going to be a big payout, a buyout, if you will, for them to leave the conference. It'll be negotiated. Now, everyone's talked about, oh my God, this is like $800 million with no. That's not what's going to happen. Look at what Texas and OU do. I know it's different because you're talking about 1 year versus 13 years. I get that. But why would the smaller brands say, okay, let them go? Because if they can get 75 to 100 million per, are you hearing what I'm saying? 75 to 100 million per, and let's say 4 teams leave, you're talking upwards of $400 million being injected into the conference, into those smaller brands. That doesn't go to SMU, doesn't go to Stanford, doesn't go to Cal. It goes to the remaining, long-term ACC schools. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So you're not losing them for nothing, and you're going to lose them for nothing if you fight this. And if you want to fight it till 2036, and if you want to save yourself a bunch of court battles and court costs and all kinds of horse shit over the next several years, which is sure to come from Florida State, probably backed up by Clemson, probably backed up by UNC. Probably Miami jumps on board, and who knows however many else of the Magnificent Seven jump on board a court case. It may very well be. It may very well happen. So, yeah, if you're going to lose them anyway, at least get your money, get your payout. You already got their replacements. If you're just talking about 3, if Miami leaves 2, go snatch up Tulane. Go snatch up Memphis, someone like that. They will come and join. No problem. And at least until 2036, as it stands pat, you probably still have access to the expanded playoff. You're probably still an autonomous conference as long as you got that deal in place with ESPN, and you do. ESPN's kind of screwed until then. Let's see here. The Big Lubbock ACC copied the Big 12 grant of rights, and now the Big 12 lawyers say the grant of rights is not ironclad. Well, I don't know. The ACC is still saying that their shit is ironclad, and how they copied it, their Big Lubbock, they copied the grant of rights as far as I know. The biggest copy point, I know I've heard that before, but the example given that I had always saw was because they had the pro rata clause. Now, what made it different is the pro rata was with ESPN, and it was the full share because ACC only, they don't do business with Fox, only ESPN. So it was a full share for each additional member. I don't know how far that goes. I don't know if it's just to maintain at 15 or if they had, they added 3 more for that full ride. So I don't, is that what we found out with the Big 12 is that there is a cap to the pro rata. Apparently the cap was 4 teams. Some people say it's 18. Some people say it's 18. I don't know that it's 18. All right. All I know is some of these school presidents in the Big 12 had come out and said, hey, that's it. We're out of money. There's no more pro rata. That's it. 16. So I'm going off of that. I'm going off of what they say. Let's see. Georgia Tech, good travel partner for UCF. Yeah, they actually would be. They wouldn't be bad. Really like Miami, but, pipe dream. Little pipe dream there. The Big Lubbock, could Pitt and Louisville take their share of the buyout money to use to buy themselves out of the ACC for the Big 12? That would be some shit, wouldn't it? That would be some shit. But it brings me to my next question, though. And as this is a Big 12 channel more than anything, will the Big 12 get ACC defectors? Can people like Pitt, like Louisville, work something out too? I'm not sure. As far as my understanding, Virginia Tech, Virginia, Duke probably have a little more money. Maybe even NC State could probably do a little something there as far as getting out. Pitt and Louisville, I don't know their financial situation. I don't know if they can afford to get out because it will be a big money payout, but it could be as low as 75 to $100 million, somewhere in there. But that's still substantial. That's a substantial amount of money. Could any of these teams leave? And would they leave? Because I keep hearing from ACC fans and, well, a small handful of UNC fans, a small handful of ACC fans that say none of these schools will ever leave for the Big 12. They keep thinking this is like the Big 12 that just lost Texas and Oklahoma. We're down to 8 schools and everyone's screwed. That's their mindset. All right. Maybe some of them are a little smarter than that, and it's upgraded. Okay, you got BYU, you got Cincinnati, UCF, and Houston, but who cares? Look, we now got Colorado, we now got Utah and the Arizona schools. We're up to 16 teams now. The perception of the Big 12 has changed 180 degrees from where it was a couple of years ago. I'm sorry, some of these assholes can't keep up with the current news and the state of the situation in the Big 12. But the perception of the Big 12 now is not what it once was. This is a stable conference for the first time in a very long time. Long time. And that stability, the money that we're getting, Brett Yormark, the things that we're doing outside of the norm of college sports, going to Mexico, things that we're doing with our basketball, Rucker Park. The list goes on of things Brett Yormark is wanting and going to do, and what the Big 12 is going to do, getting innovative. Having a big Big 12 Pro Day in the Dallas Cowboys facility on the NFL Network. That's huge. That's huge for getting kids to the Big 12. It's huge for recruiting. So, like I said, the perception of the Big 12 is different than what it once was. So, is it really a lateral move to go to the ACC to the Big 12? Well, if you're losing your big brands, say you lose them sometime within this calendar year, and let's say you're Virginia Tech, you got a chance to get out too. You got the money to get out. I don't know their situation. I don't know their financial situation. I'm guessing Virginia Tech has the money to leave. That they're one of the bigger brands within the ACC. That they could possibly, them or Virginia could possibly still get out. Now, would Virginia Tech or Virginia go to the Big 12? A supposed lateral move. Why are you staying in the ACC till 2036? It's not a lateral move. It's a future move, because the Big 12 comes up for contract again in 2031, 5 years before this deal, the current deal in the ACC expires. 5 years before it expires. It would behoove you to get your ass to a conference that's, already lost the 2 monster brands we had. Texas and OU are gone. But now has backfilled with really, really solid brands. We're talking the 4 best group of 5 schools in the country, plus Colorado, which is blowing up with Coach Prime, Utah, which has came up dramatically in the pack, has won the pack multiple years, and is 4-0 this year without their starting quarterback. The Arizona schools, Arizona State, yeah, they suck at football right now, but they're still a pretty good basketball team, and they got a huge alumni base. Arizona, another big alumni base, who's coming up in the football ranks, who's already a monster in basketball. So all these schools offer a ton, and they're all AAU for what it's worth. So, And the solidarity of the Big 12. When you're in the ACC and there's a ton of infighting, it would be nice to go to a place where everyone's on the same page, everyone's getting along, everyone's cashing the same check every year. Everyone's putting in, everyone's trying to go for it, and there's room to go for it. There's not any monster brand within the Big 12 like Clemson, like Florida State when they're on, that's going to keep you from getting to the top level, keep you from winning the conference, because you can't compete with the recruiting, you can't compete with the money. You say what you want about Clemson and Florida State being pissed off about the money. They make gobs of money. They ain't falling behind in NIL anytime soon. That's not happening. All right. Alabama's got big donors. So does Florida State. Texas has got big donors. Ohio State's got big donors. Michigan's got big donors. So does Florida State. So does Clemson. So does Miami. So does UNC, for that matter. They do. Hell, so does Duke. Duke's got big donors. Don't think they don't. They do. But the ones that have been shouting from the mountaintops, Florida State and Clemson, they ain't hurting for cash, especially for players. So they ain't going to fall behind that for a while. But some of these other schools like Virginia Tech, all right, would they go? Is it really a lateral move? I don't think that it is. I think it's a future move and a smart move and a good, sound business move to go to a conference that is secure. You don't have to worry about it. It's the only autonomous conference right now with a deal with the two biggest sports media companies in the world, Fox and ESPN. We're the only ones that have that. The Big 10 can't say that. The SEC can't say that. And the ACC sure as hell can't say that. Only the Big 12 is left with the deal with the Big 2. That's it. So exposure, everything right here in the Big 12. And it has become very, very evident that both those companies want to continue to do business well into the future with the Big 12. We have value to the Big 2 media companies for all the pricks out there that want to deny any credit to the Big 12 and any value that we have. Oh, you're just a tier 2. Apparently, we're a power 4, dumbass. And we're going to continue to be a power conference. And the ACC eventually is going to go away. Why? Because they done pissed off ESPN. They done pissed them off. We saw what happened to the PAC when the PAC pissed them off. What do you think they're going to do to the ACC in 2036? They'll wait. They'll wait, but they damn sure ain't going to shell out no money. And don't tell me Apple, Amazon, hey, maybe they do get on board, but they're not going to pay you anything big. You're not going to have the ratings. It's going to find out that you're going to find out the same thing that the PAC found out. And what they found out is, hey, if we can find someplace else to go, we better get there. That's what they found out. That's what the ACC, the rest of the schools who cannot afford to leave, that's what they're going to find out. So it may behoove a school like Virginia or Virginia Tech, possibly, I don't know the financial situation, like I said, of Georgia Tech. If Miami can't get into one of the Big 2, it may be a smart play for Miami to get their ass to the Big 12. Bide their time till 2031, then try the Big 10 again, try the SEC again. If it doesn't work, hey, at least we're in a conference that's going to be alive in 2036. Because in 2036, you're going to be in a hell of a lot of trouble. Even if you do find your way to a media deal, you're just going to be a glorified group of 5. That's what Oregon State and Washington State are finding out right now. And by the way, Washington State has better viewership, better ratings than the vast majority of the ACC schools. That's Washington State, not Washington, Washington State. Wazoo has better football viewership then Duke, then Virginia Tech, then Virginia, then UNC. It's a fact. Deal with that shit. But they can't find their way into a Power 5 right now, or Power 4 right now. They're screwed. They've been screwed. The whole pack was screwed. They were screwed with Oregon, Washington, Colorado. They still couldn't get a deal. So let's don't get delusional in the ACC. If you can get out, even if the SEC and the Big 10 is not an option, it is the wise play is to get out anyway and get to the Big 12. Because the Big 12 is interested in expanding back east. All right, got a few comments here. Let's get to some of those. All right, so to make some room for y'all. Damn, am I just like that far behind? I didn't think I was. All right, success is us together. Thank God we all have college football to bail out the bad things about this world when we can. Thank you, Numbskull News. Well, hey, I appreciate that. Or block out. Hey, thank you. Thank you for correcting. Yeah, and that's true. It's good that we have some things to kind of take our mind off of some BS that goes on every day. Hidden Hawaiian, what do you think about the Washington State? Oh, crap. Getting full money, or else they need to get in the conference. Well, I'm going to make a video about that pretty soon, Hidden Hawaiian. I think there's multiple ways for Washington State and Oregon State to go. There are rumors, but there's also been talk the other way. So right now, I don't know what to think of it, but I probably will know in a video coming up shortly. The Big Lubbock ACC media deal is $24 million per school. Big 12 media payout is 31.7, and in 2031, the Big 12 will negotiate more, and the ACC will still be at 24 million through 2036. That's the problem. Now, if you listen to certain jackasses in the ACC, ACC fans, that is, or UNC fans, those are the ones I usually get into it with. They'll tell you that, why would anyone pay the Big 12 anymore in 2031? These are not very smart people. They claim to be smart. They type smart. They comment and sound smart and intelligent and use, some big words or whatever. But that shit just doesn't fly. In 2031, obviously, the Big 12 is going to make more. They're going to be worth more with the brands that they have. And if you track what we're going to be in basketball, that's going to be worth more. It's like, are you paying attention at all? Or are you just jerking off in your mom's lingerie? We're going to be worth quite a bit more than we're worth right now. So our money's going to move up quite a bit. You combine that in 2036 when ESPN's going to be out on anything major. Fox isn't going to give a damn. There'll be other players in Apple, Amazon. They're not going anywhere. They're going to get involved sooner or later. But are they going to get involved for the kind of money the ACC would like to have at that point without their major brands, possibly minus a few others that went to the Big 12 already? And then you backfill with Tulane and a few others. No, you're going to look like a group of five, and they're going to want to pay you accordingly, which is significantly less money than what the Big 12 is going to be at, which is going to be less than the SEC. It's going to be less than the Big 10, but we will be the third highest paid conference at that time with plenty of access into the college football playoff. We'll have an automatic bid. Plenty of access into prime recruiting, Florida to Texas. Of course, Texas, eaten up in Texas, but Florida, all the way to Florida, Ohio. recruit damn near anywhere. So it's not a bad place to be, is what I'm saying. The Big Lubbock. Big 12 will be at $50 million per school, media only portion for new media contracts in 2031. That is not out of the question. And I know some people want to shit all over themselves by me saying that, but it's not out of the question. If you peel off basketball and get paid, add the right brands, with the brands we have right now, it's huge. You know, we are the biggest, most important brand when it comes to basketball. That's the number two revenue. It's only like two revenue generators in all college sports: football, basketball. Basketball is the lesser one, but Brett Yormark thinks that money and that value can go up, and I believe him. Jeff Woodworth, hate to say it, but the ACC implodes. Yormark will want Duke. Of course, he'll want Duke. I would want UNC and Duke. But yeah, I mean, I think Duke. Because I don't see Duke going to the Big. I don't see any of the Big Two conferences. I don't. I have a hard time seeing them really. I mean, look, the report is UNC is the most desired. Okay, I've heard that in a couple places now. So let's say that's true. I still don't know if ESPN and Fox are fully on board with paying UNC what they pay Alabama, what they pay Texas, what they pay Ohio State, what they pay Michigan. You're talking monstrous ratings. I mean, go back and look at Michigan and Ohio State game last year. My God in heaven, that is a monster freaking number, which you will not even sniff with UNC, regardless of the matchup. They don't have the viewership in football. They don't have it. They have it in basketball. Absolutely. They are one of the most watched teams, if not the most watched team in basketball in the country. Yes, they are a monster, a juggernaut, a legendary program in basketball. But that's the second revenue generator. Are you going to pay a basketball school primary? That is their big revenue stream. That's their the big section of productivity is basketball. Are you going to pay that school like you pay Ohio State, like you pay Alabama and Georgia and Texas, Michigan, Penn State, Notre Dame? I just don't believe that. I don't believe that for 2 seconds. I think there are people within the Big Ten that love UNC and see all the value that they, non-football value they have. I think there's people within the SEC that see the same thing, but don't tell me it's the majority. I'll believe it when I see them sign on the dotted line to go to the SEC. I'll believe it when I see them sign on the dotted line to go to the Big Ten, because the structure of the SEC deal with ESPN and the structure of the Big Ten deal with Fox and their partners, it's different than the ACC and the Big 12. That pro rata thing ain't the same. It ain't. ESPN does not have to pay for anything. Remember that shit. They don't have to pay for UNC. They can just straight up say, no, you pay for them. And is the SEC going to be willing to give up money for UNC? Are they? Don't know. But I could be wrong. I could easily be wrong on that. Easily be wrong. I have to admit, I could be very wrong on that. All right, Jeff Woodworth. Clemson better get out now. 2 or 3 down years, and Clemson could be what they were before Dabo. Oh, I don't know that, Jeff. Like I said, they ain't hurting for cash. I know everyone wants to pour mouth, and I know the program isn't going to get the same kind of payouts. But as far as donor money, NIL money, they ain't hurting. They ain't hurting. They can buy players. Hidden Hawaiian. It's clear to me that the media wants three big conferences. Big 12 will be the next tier below SEC and Big 10, but we'll have the best basketball. That's what your mark wants. That's the key to the seat at the table, Hidden Hawaiian, for the Big 12. All right, you got the SEC. You got the Big 10. What is the Big 12? We are the SEC of basketball. We're the big monster in basketball. And since it is the second revenue generator, it does equal millions of dollars to universities, especially in the power universities. That's the Big 12's in. That's what gives them their seat at the table. The more powerful we become in that, the more plush the seat gets. Will it ever be worth what the other two conferences? No, because their big power comes from basketball. Football. Big 10, it's football. It's for big football markets, but it's the markets that's their inroad more so than football. Let's see, Mike Smith, what is up, dude? Chat room needs to perk up some. Good thing that the Burger Meister Burger King is here. Oh, I appreciate you, Mike. Always do. Everyone likes to watch the Cougars work. That is true. Arturo Balderos, what's up, dude? Duke is killing it. Yeah, they are. I'm not sure what RN means, but I'd actually prefer them over UNC if they can make this a consistent thing. Doesn't hurt that they are a basketball blue blood either. Duke is going to get in there. I believe that. I believe. I think Duke will find its way in there because the perception of the Big 12 has changed and changed quite a bit. It's not the piece of crap everyone has once viewed it. We have now a multitude of AAU schools. And Duke would love to be rubbing shoulders with them, I think. Come on, Duke in Colorado. Here we go. Buckeye in Texas. Washington State has better viewership than the trailer trash conference. So what's the point? Here we go with Mr. Buckeye. Washington State does have great viewership. They do. But I do have to ask, why aren't they in a power conference right now? There's some rumors that they, maybe the Big 12, Buckeye, but hold on. And you're talking viewership based on what? 2020, 2021? Not the 16 that we're going to be next year. We haven't seen that viewership. So so you can kind of take those quasi facts and shove them up your ass right now, because the last time I checked, the biggest school right now as far as viewership, and it's not close, is Colorado, who's going to be a Big 12 school next year. So those numbers are coming into the Big 12. Last time I checked, Utah gets pretty damn good viewership numbers. Where are they going? If Arizona State and Arizona ever do anything, they're in a prime freaking market to get pretty big viewership numbers. So I kind of like where we are. I like the fact that we have UCF. I mean, we don't even have the complete numbers for the 2023 season because we're not even in the middle of the 2023 season yet. So screw off with the viewership numbers right now. We know what they have been in the past. Now, Washington State, that's what they have been for years, way the hell up in the Washington area. So that's impressive. But this is a whole new Big 12 now. So I don't want to hear about, trailer trash conference viewership. Why don't you look at our conference championship last year? By the way, two of the trashiest of the trash teams in Kansas State at TCU. There's about 9 million viewers, buddy. That was better than the ACC. That was way better than the Pac-12 just last year. 2 brands that aren't seen as any kind of big to-do. Educate yourself, son. All right, Mike Smith. This comes back to Gold and Blue Dude. He was always talking about the viewership of the Cougs being so much better than people realize. Yeah, and they are. And like I said, we haven't seen that in that viewership import from BYU just yet. If that's the Cougs you're talking about, which I think it is. So I don't think Houston is quite there yet. All right, Mike Smith. The ACC is trailer trash conference. Question mark. Is it a trailer? I wouldn't consider the ACC a trailer trash conference no more than I would the Big 12. I mean, I don't have anything personal against the ACC. Not like I did with the Pac. I really don't have anything against the ACC. Their commissioners never talk shit on the Big 12. As a matter of fact, the UNC commissioner himself, or the president himself, has talked about a possible merger between the Big 12 and the ACC. And both Florida State and UNC have had discussions with the Big 12. So apparently, they don't feel that we're trailer trash. So I don't feel that they're trailer trash. It's kind of funny how that works. Jeff Woodworth, well, technically, SEC is trailer trash conference. You ever seen Deliverance? That, dude, if you ever been through Mississippi, sections of Alabama, holy shit. That's all I'm going to say. They don't call it the dirty South for nothing. I mean, you want to see transmissions and old freaking engines hanging from trees. Mike Smith, the little banjo boy, was my grandpa. Hey, he's a talented guy. All right, Buckeye, let's throw another shot out here. I thought the ACC has a network. It does. A contract, and new teams does. Why leave on a lateral move? I'd already talked about that until the end of the contract. You offer no value to those schools and to degrade maybe their academic pedigree. Well, it doesn't hurt your academic pedigree. Besides, there's plenty of schools in the ACC that aren't AAU, that aren't these academic juggernauts. I mean, that's Duke, that's UNC, that's Virginia, to some extent Virginia Tech. Could probably both, talk in that kind of language, maybe Georgia Tech. I think Miami just became AAU, but I don't think Clemson nor Florida State are. Maybe Clemson. I'm not sure. But I know Florida State isn't. And I already talked about the lateral move. How is it a lateral move if you're going to a conference that's actually solidified? You don't have teams trying to get out. The teams that wanted out are already out. They've already been replaced with sizable brands out of the Pac-12. The 4 best group of 5 schools, one of which have already made a playoff appearance. And they're also in major markets. BYU has already been proven. I mean, and like I said, between the UNC president and plus Florida State and UNC talking to the Big 12, it appears to me they don't feel the same way. They don't feel that this is quite the lateral move you think it is. I think they feel that it's a sinking ship. They kind of see what's going on. They see the iceberg well in the distance, and they know they got to start turning now. So, Buckeye in Texas, maybe you need to go back to Ohio, ride that fentanyl train back up there, bud. Mike Smith, a wise old man told me once, only thing worse than a northern snob is a southern snob. It's really rough if you're both. Can the Big 12 be the 3rd highest paid conference? Please, can we? Yeah. Technically, we already are. Technically, we already are. I mean, I know there's a network, but hold up. These networks these networks that y'all are so proud of, cable's going away. It's on the decline year after year after year. Everyone says this is why ESPN is going direct to consumer, which means they're going internet. They're not going to stay on cable. What does that mean? That means cable is going bye-bye. It's going by the way of the DVD, of the 8-track. So you want to bolster and talk about, the ACC Network. Based off of cable subscriptions. This is like if you're counting on money from ad revenue from the TV Guide subscriptions coming. Remember the TV Guide used to come to people's houses? Stupid shit. Oh, look here, Buckeye ain't done. He ain't done yet, damn it. You are a group of 5 now. I think he's trying to say you are a group of 5 now. Damn. Schools cannot be that bad in Ohio. What makes you think they will pay your Misfit Brands? Didn't think Utah is a Misfit brand. I didn't think Arizona or Arizona State's a Misfit brand. I don't think Colorado's a Misfit brand. I think TCU has been elevated quite a bit beyond a Misfit brand. So I don't know what you're talking about. You offer no true value to networks outside of Colorado. Again, I beg to differ quite a bit. I think networks like having teams in the DFW area, in Houston, in Orlando, in Cincinnati. Only some of the biggest markets in the country. Phoenix, Tucson. People live in Phoenix and Tucson. A lot of people, actually. They have a big old airport and everything. Hot fucking damn, they got themselves an airport. It ain't the prop plane. They actually got some jets on that son bitch. Today, your ratings suck. Today, we're not talking about today. You're talking about yesterday. I'm talking about tomorrow. You dumb bastard. I mean, you keep regurgitating horse shit. That's one of the problems with you, Buckeye. I mean, I appreciate you being here and all. I don't mind getting a little pissed. Misfit Brands, that's dumber than dog shit. That's dumber than dog shit. And besides, why are you jumping on? I mean, if you're a Buckeye in Texas, it means you're Ohio State. You're living high off the hog. You're in the Big 10. You're the king of the Big 10. What do you give 2 fucking shits about what the Big 12 does? Why do you give a fuck? Why are you still think you're in an alliance with the ACC or something? Yeah, let's see what big brand the Big 10 can snatch out of that alliance member. What is your deal? That's what I don't get. I don't see why you should be bothered by Big 12. Why? Makes no sense. Are you really a Buckeye in Texas? Are you really? Did you go to school? Did you go to that school, Ohio State? Maybe you were denied. Maybe you had to go to a JUCO in Texas and it pissed you off. Maybe you had to go to like Dallas Community College and it pissed you off that, Ohio State wouldn't let you in because you're too retarded. Maybe that's the problem. I think that might be the problem here. They didn't have a Down syndrome area of Ohio State, but Dallas, hey, Dallas, Fort Worth, both, we care about the downtrodden. We care, and we try to take care of people that, have a few learning disabilities and do all that, maybe they not so much up there. And that's why you're in Texas. Maybe that kind of pisses you off. I don't know. But everything you just said right here is kind of utter nonsense. But thanks anyway. Jeff Woodworth, basketball can go international. Mo money. True. Colorado can get those monster numbers now. And they have. The biggest game this year so far still is Colorado versus Colorado State, played at like midnight. That's insane. But as far as I know, Coach Prime is going to be here next year. Yeah, Utah going to be here next year. I think the ratings from UCF games, I think that's going to keep going up if you consider that gigantic alumni base they have. Being in Orlando, let those guys start. They've already started. I mean, they're 3-1 right now. Played a hell of a game against Kansas State. Could have won that game. Could have won that game. Few calls. I said it was a lucky win for Kansas State. I'll stand by that. I think because if they were lucky it was at home. I think if that game was in the bounce house, I think UCF gets that game. That doesn't mean Kansas State played like shit. The quarterback's doing a hell of a job. Mike Smith, mo money. Exactly. Mile High, Colorado gonna shock the world Saturday. Very well could. USC. Yeah, a lot of these acronyms are killing me. USC does not have the same defense as Oregon. They don't. Mike Smith, wonder how much Colorado could have gotten this season under that Apple deal, up to 50 maybe. Too late now. Hidden Hawaii, and I can see USC getting it just because I can think of brands like Rutgers, Northwestern, Vanderbilt, etc. Right, but those schools went into those conferences, and at that time when they got in, there was no $100 million a year payout. There wasn't, whatever the payout's going to be. The TV deals weren't billion-dollar TV deals back then. If they were, Northwestern isn't in the Big 10. Vanderbilt isn't in the SEC. Hell, Missouri's not there. Arkansas is not there. I mean, I'm just saying, if it was that kind of money back then, these conferences look very different. Let's see here. Jeff Woodworth, mo money, mo problems. The thing is, it's not going to be the problem money. That's going to be the SEC and the Big Ten. They're going to have the problem money. Mike Smith shocked the world last Saturday. Or they shocked the world last Saturday. I'm thinking talking about Colorado, unfortunately. Or could be Denver. Oh. You think Colorado going to do bigger in the Big 12? I think it's going to be big time in the Big 12, Mile High. I think there's some traditional rivals they're going to like. Remember, they were in the Big 12, or essentially the Big 12, for 90 years or something stupid like that, 60 years before going to the Pac. So they kind of fit in. Yeah, I think there's a lot. I mean, imagine them going to the bounce house. How freaking Prime going home to Florida. I mean, that's insane. That'll be insane. Jeff Woodworth, if Big 10 wanted basketball, Kansas would be in the Big 10. True. I've been saying that for such a long time. And all I hear is, Kansas ain't worth jack shit what UNC is. Really? Really? Okay. I mean, Kansas is a huge brand. Now that their football is starting to catch up, dude, that's a huge brand for us. Jeff Woodworth, yes, Mile High, Colorado will do great in the Big 12. Yes, absolutely. Mike Smith, as long as Prime keeps getting good players and coaches, the Buffs will be elite in the near future. They have to address both trenches right now. True. Yeah, that's that offensive line especially is ugly. Very ugly. Buckeye, the Big 10 and SEC want UNC. That's the rumor. Although I have not heard Mr. Petiti or Greg Sankey come out and say it themselves. So it's a rumor until they actually say it. So they will get in. Again, I haven't heard jack shit from ESPN or Fox about UNC either. Even at a discount, there will be no discount. See Washington and Oregon. Okay. Okay. You only hear what you want to hear, sir. Washington and Oregon, they give a certain type of value to the Big Ten, all law late night windows, prime time games, especially with NBC. That's what they offer. That's what they need because Ohio State doesn't want to play that shit. Michigan doesn't want to play it. I guarantee you, Michigan State doesn't want to. Penn State doesn't want to, and they don't. Traditionally, they don't play primetime games, late night games, late window games in November. Oregon and Washington can give you that. They can also give you ratings during those times. That's the value. That's the sellability of Washington and Oregon. UNC doesn't give you another window they don't already have. They don't need that. Basketball, this ain't about basketball. People, they want to keep throwing out that UNC brand. Their brand is basketball. Oh, but it's an elite academic school. The Big Ten's eating up with elite academic schools. So, again, none of what you're saying right here is backed up in any kind of fact whatsoever that I have to agree with you on. Deal with that shit. Mike Smith, I will keep saying it. Sanders is going to get injured with the way that line plays. Yeah, but it's also the way he plays. He holds that ball too long. I blame the offensive line for about 50% of it. The other 50%, that's on Shedeur. Jeff Woodworth, unfortunately, the Broncos might do just okay in the Big 12, and I'm a Bronco fan. That game, and that's a historic franchise, man. I have nothing against the Broncos at all. I think it's one of the cooler stadiums, cooler looking stadiums for, I know the new one, the old one was cool. Uniforms are cool, Elway, the whole nine. But damn, that's embarrassing shit. That is not good. That is not good. People need to be fired out of there. Mike Smith. Oh, how many games does Houston play in Texas before they have to play one out of state? It is freaking crazy, especially for a new team. Well, I mean, you got 4 Texas schools. Right now, you got 5. So it's kind of the way it is, sir. Kind of the way it is, sir. Don't worry, Virginia. West Virginia, we're going to get you some help there, Mike. You're going to get that help. I promise you. Jeff Woodworth, I want Duke, but I also hate Duke. That's what makes them great. They're polarizing. When they're good, especially in basketball, they are polarizing. They haven't been quite the same without Coach K, but that's kind of to be expected. It's hard to come back from. I want Dookie to screw up some teams, but screw up later themselves. All right. Let me pause for a second. I'll be right back. Oh shit! Sorry guys, I need to get one of them Amazon pee bottles. Son of a bitch. Oh, let's see. Buckeye again. Until someone pays money for basketball, you are dreaming. And the largest alum bases in the country for the Big 10, Maryland, Drew's draws whatever better than the Misfits. Well, the Misfits haven't been a band since the 90s. So you should outdraw them. Again, I mean, like I said, you don't want to hear anything but what's rattling out of your own face. I've already addressed that shit. Yeah, basketball is the second revenue generator. It'll always be the second revenue generator. But there's room for growth in basketball. That's not dreaming. That's coming from people, very, very well-connected people, very, very the people that know what they're talking about, not me, not you. So I'm not making this shit up. It's coming from experts that, hey, this shit hadn't reached its peak yet as far as basketball. So you have no leg to stand on there yet again. The Big Lubbock Buckeye in Texas got kicked out of Ohio and now he has nowhere to go. That is why he is in Texas. Well, I didn't know we were taking everyone's bullshit. All right. Arturo Balderas, I know there's a snowball's chance of it ever happening, but Notre Dame would fit in better in the Big 12 than the Big 10. You know what? I don't think there's a snowball chance in hell of it ever happening either, but I think they'd probably rather be in the Big 12 than the Big 10. That's what I don't think Notre Dame likes the Big 10. I don't think they like the conference. They don't like the people running it. I don't think that's just the way it looks to me. They just don't like them. I mean, because why not agree to play 5 games every year in the Big 10 instead of the ACC when they made that deal? Why do that? It's because they don't like you, Big 10. That's why. On the grounds that they are a religious institution, rivalries with Baylor, BYU, TCU would be fire. Yeah, it ain't much of a chance of that, but maybe one day their basketball program ends up in the Big 12. You never know. Mike Smith, UNC Pitt and damn Notre Dame is enough for me to hate the ACC evil grin. Buckeye in Texas, that is what I'm talking about. And outside of Colorado for the Big 12, exactly your biggest brands are the Pac schools. I've been saying for a long time the Pac had bigger brands than we did, but somehow we got a TV deal and they didn't. How'd that happen there, Buckeye? Maybe you should actually read what people from ESPN and people from Fox have said. They like the competitiveness of the Big 12. They like the solidarity of the Big 12. They like, I don't know, they like Brett Yormark. They like doing business with him. They like doing business with the Big 12. So tell me why that is. The Big Lubbock Buckeye in Texas flunked out of Ohio State and he couldn't get into the University of Cincinnati. I don't know if Cincinnati would have him either. They got some standards up there. More people watched Ohio State alone than watched the entire Big 12 outside of Texas and Oklahoma. In what game? What did they watch them do? Masturbate? Play circle jerk? Was it a certain game? So I know Ohio State and Michigan was like the biggest game of last year. That's kind of what I was talking about. And this is why that's why the Big 10 got its big TV deals, because of gigantic ratings from Ohio State and from Michigan and Penn State. Hell, Nebraska has huge ratings. Wisconsin has a nice number. That's not in dispute here, Buckeye. So I don't know why you're over there pulling your pud about Ohio State. It's like you're not given any new information. Yet with that same information, both ESPN and Fox wanted to do a pretty big time deal with the Big 12. As a matter of fact, to give us more money per team per year without Texas and OU. How the hell did that happen? And that was with 4 group of 5s with BYU coming in. That was not including the PAC schools. How do you explain that shit? Oh, maybe because Buckeye in Texas, he don't run the Big 10. He doesn't run Fox. He doesn't run ESPN either. No, he just sits there in his trailer in Dallas pulling his pud. That's what he does. And making stupid, nonsensical points. Not thought out at all. The big Lubbock, Colorado, and Colorado State drew more viewers than Ohio State. They did. Mile High, that's Colorado and Colorado State gained crazy numbers of people watching. I was shocked. I was shocked too. And not really because of Colorado, because of Prime, because it's Colorado State. It's the Mountain West. That's crazy. And it's like midnight. That's Central Time. Eastern Time? It's like 2 a.m. and shit. Or, 1 a.m. It's crazy. Crazy shit. Jeff Woodworth, I tried to watch Oregon State, but they could only score 14 points on Notre Dame. Oregon State. He went 14 points on Notre Dame, and I fell asleep. Is that another OSU that I'm not sure of? Because it's not Oregon State. Maybe it is. I don't remember them playing Notre Dame. Ohio State. Yeah, they just played Notre Dame. Yeah, they could only score 14 points. They still won. They did win. Hidden Hawaiian. ACC was smart to add Cal Stanford. They had tons of debt and baggage to the conference. Not to mention an insane plane ticket. SMU adds the fan in Texas, giving them the market. Great schools to backfill when everybody leaves. The fan. You must be talking about the radio station that no one listens to. Buckeye in Texas. Big Lubbock. My house costs more than your whole town. Okay. That'll earn you a lot of nothing. But, I mean, at least it may be a fact that you're, I don't know, how do you know Lubbock's bigger than you think? It's got a lot of acres. Mike Smith, stop with the idiot. I got more money than you talk. What are you in high school? Or what are you in high school or SMU? Yeah, that's kind of dumb. Brett Yormark is going to seal a deal with a few streamers and finesse the Power 2 like he did in the pack. Bold prediction. Wouldn't put it past him. Mike Smith, I have heard Phoenix and Tucson has indoor plumbing as well. They're living like the Jetsons. Yeah, no shit. I'll be damned. Yeah, Phoenix, man. Ever since Billy the Kid left town, that place is blown up. Big Lubbock, Buckeye in Texas as lives in Texas because Ohio has shit for housing and couldn't get a good paying job in Trailer Park, Ohio. Ohio sucks. Never been there. All I know is that Dave Chappelle lives there for some reason. Hidden Hawaiian. People see Big 12 for what it is today. Anybody with business sense or can adapt could see Big 12 has huge upside. These the same people that said the internet wasn't going to work. Yeah. Buckeye in Texas. Clemson is not AAU, but both schools will have to have a plan to obtain that status to get into the Big Ten. Again, you don't know what you're talking about there, Buckeye. Learn about your own conference. They actually issued a statement that said AAU is not a requirement for entrance into the Big Ten. Why? Because the Big Ten would love Clemson and love Florida State. They don't give two fucking shits if they're AAU. And they've said so themselves. So we are so much alike, you have no idea. Okay. But I don't talk out of my ass because that statement you just made up. See, you're going off of the perception of the Big Ten, but what the Big Ten has said themselves, what they have said themselves, they don't care about AAU. I mean, I'm not saying they don't care about it, but it's not a requirement, especially if it's a huge brand coming in. So, Mile High Prime Time is here. He is. The Big Lubbock, Cincinnati's part is the best part of Ohio. I've heard something like that. The people that say the Big 12 is G5, nor worth she. The same people that said phones wouldn't work. A phone in your pocket? What the hell are you talking about? How much extension cord do you need? Coach Prime was out of town, out on the town. He farted and fell down. He got the biggest rating of anything on TV on tonight. He equals ratings. The Pac-12 was good while it lasted, but on to bigger and better things. True enough. Oh no. Mike Smith. Sandusky is the best part of Ohio, only because that is where Cedar Point is located. And for those who don't know, we're not talking about Penn State Sandusky. We're talking about the actual town of Sandusky. Only reason I know that is because I've worked in a lot of trailers, not just for UPS, but for a lot of people, and they make the big roll-up doors and stuff like that. And that'll be Sandusky. I'm like, not that guy, but no, the place. Buckeye in Texas, we are so much alike. You have no clue. I just live in Dallas. I was waiting on you to give me a cuss word. No, I don't care about that conference. Yes, I graduated from Ohio State. Lies. Lies. I am sure I spend more money on lunch, but I do have interest in the dumbing down of this nation by talking down education. All right. I think there's plenty of people in this nation that dumb themselves down. I don't know if they need help. I'm sure I spend more money on lunch. Okay. I do appreciate the Ric Flair-esque shit talking. So there's that. Arturo Balderas. Kansas plays Texas this weekend. They may shock the world this weekend. Trap game of the trap games. True. That is the trappiest of the trap games. Trap. It's a trap. Yeah, man. Damn. There's like other stuff to get to. Yeah, man. There's the Big 12's big week 5 coming up. Matter of fact, I wrote down some shit. Let me get to these real quick. I wasn't sure if I was going to get to them. Yeah, Kansas versus Kansas State. Big ass trap game. It's on the road. It's going to be really tough for Kansas, but I believe they may have the quarterback, the head coach, the running back, maybe just enough defense, maybe to pull out the miracle. I don't know. I know I'm going to be rooting like hell for Kansas. Come on, Jayhawks. Let's talk. Because there's only like what 6 matchups in the Big 12 this week. Kansas State's off. Oklahoma State is mercifully not playing this week. Ohio State versus Oklahoma. It's in Oklahoma. In Norman. It's going to be Oklahoma by about 30 points, unfortunately. Iowa State just isn't what I thought it was this year. Now, a more interesting game is Cincinnati versus BYU. That will be at BYU on Friday, actually. I think BYU is going to win the game. I think Cincinnati is going to make it really interesting, though. I'm not giving up on Cincinnati just yet. I think they're going to be okay. Let me go to what I got in here. Houston versus Texas Tech. That's going to be Tech by 20. It's at Lubbock. and they've really not done well to start the year, as y'all have noticed, but I think they'll finish strong. I think Tech will finish strong. I think they'll make a bowl game, and it starts with beating Houston. Baylor versus UCF at UCF at the Bounce House. I have lost all faith in Baylor. There's just no reason to pick them for the rest of 2023. Hopefully in 2024 it's better for them. I got UCF and I got them big. To me, really the most, yes, it's partly because I'm a TCU homer, but to me the most interesting game of the week is West Virginia versus TCU. West Virginia has to travel to Fort Worth. TCU is way better than people thought after that Colorado loss. West Virginia also is better than people thought. Preseason, everyone had them as the worst team. They are clearly not. Hell of a defense, hell of a bad quarterback or quarterbacks. I'm not sure they have one, and that will be the difference in the game. Morris for TCU, he can play. He's a good college quarterback. Won't be in the pros, but he's a good college quarterback. TCU will win that game, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 17-10, maybe 17-7, maybe a 10-point win, but it won't be high scoring. I'll be surprised if TCU gets anywhere near 30, and I'll be surprised if West Virginia gets anywhere near 15, 16 points. Just that'll be surprising. All right. Well, there are a couple other matchups. Hold on. Future Big 12. Utah versus Oregon State. Great matchup. We'll find out a little more about Utah. Maybe Cam Rising comes back. Maybe he's still on sabbatical. I don't know. Oregon State, man, that was a rough loss last week. Washington State. They're at home with Utah coming in. That's a tall order, though. I'm going to take Utah. USC versus Colorado. Someone brought that up earlier. Like I said, USC does not have the defense of Oregon, which means Colorado is going to be able to score points. I think that offensive line will hold up a little better. Won't say Shedeur won't get sacked at all, but probably won't be, death. He'll have some time. I don't know. I can't. It's in Colorado. I know it's the great USC, but you know what? Give me Colorado by 3. Colorado by 3. I'm going to say Colorado scores. I say they go back up 38-35. How about that? Big ass score. And the next one I have interest in, and the last game I'm going to talk about, Notre Dame versus Duke. And the only reason I'm doing it is because of my Big 12 versus Pac-12 versus ACC thing. And I've been posting videos every week, breaking that down, giving you my top 25 between those three conferences. Duke is just impressing the shit out of me this year. All right, they're winning at home. They're winning on the road. They're 4-0. And they got Notre Dame at home. That's going to be huge. That's their biggest. I don't know if it's their biggest because I think they got Clemson earlier in the year, but still, they did get a win versus Clemson. Now they get Notre Dame, probably one of their bigger tests of the year. I think Notre Dame's 3-1, and you know what? I'm taking Duke. I'm taking the home team. Let's go Duke. Let's go Blue Devils. Damn it. Some underdog action here going. All right. I want to run through these last few, and then I got to get off here. I guess I got some business I got to take care of. No, that's not sex with the wife. Got to drop a car off at a mechanic. Arturo Balderas, Kansas plays Texas this weekend. They may show. Okay, I read that one. Glad I did. Mile High, you think Travis Hunter played against Oregon, the game would have been different or closer. No, I don't. No. I love Travis Hunter. I think when he comes out, there's a real possibility. Travis depends on what he can't come out this year. Come out after next year. When he comes out, he should be the number one overall pick. If not, then people are just stupid. I know they love quarterbacks, but that dude, beyond any quarterback that's going to come out, including Shador, Travis Hunter will be. He's just a lock to be a superstar in the NFL. He's a lock to have a gold jacket one day. So those guys you don't pass up. If you got the first round pick, you don't pass them up. No, it wouldn't have made a difference. Not with that offensive line. Not the way they were tackling. That defense was it wasn't just a defensive line. I mean, nobody was tackling. It was bad. I mean, Travis Hunter may have made some plays, but it wouldn't. You would have still got smoked. Mike Smith pulling for Kansas. Dude, everyone needs to pull for Kansas. Fuck Texas. Mike Smith, no mile high. Buffs were dominated on offense, defense, special teams, and coaching. I don't know. I don't know if that was so much a coaching problem there, Mike. I know a lot. People want to say it. I know Dion has said it. You know, they got out coached. He was horrible. Whatever. There was no winning that game. Not with how those teams are built. It was just a horrible matchup this year for Colorado. It's going to take a little time to build that offensive line. But now, and I agree with this. I heard a pundit on one of the national shows talk about that. And this next year, as far as recruiting, as far as transfer portal, especially transfer portal, he's going to be able to get high quality offensive linemen in now, because now these guys, you're going to go to Colorado for what? Okay, maybe Shador can play, maybe he can't. Maybe Travis Hunter can play at this level, maybe you can't. Maybe you got some nice wide receivers. But if I'm transferring, wouldn't I rather transfer to Michigan, where you could be a first rounder, where you got a better shot of doing something. Why would I go to all these other, especially big time branded schools on offense with an offensive line? Why am I going to go as an offensive lineman to a situation that may be bad or subpar with a team that's made out of transfers? Probably not going to do that. But next year, I think offensive linemen are going to want to come there. They're like, oh, I would be the best offensive lineman they got, and Shador's playing behind me. Let's go. Now that I think it'll show a lot of these high quality offensive linemen that are in the portal, Colorado's a place to go. Mike Smith, Travis, a hell of a player, though. Kid is a stud. He is. The Big Lubbock, Buckeye in Texas, as is really an SMU snob in disguise, and never went to Ohio State. He went to SMU and flunked out. Go Jayhawks, go. Damn straight, AAR. ACC Conference implodes. I don't know if it'll implode. If it does, it'll be a slow death. You like Damian Lillard trade to Milwaukee. It couldn't hurt. So I think Damian Lillard needed to get out of there years ago, to tell you the truth. Buckeye in Texas, go Mustangs. I bet. Bastard. AAR, Broncos going to fire Peyton or bench Russell Wilson. They're into Russell Wilson for a hell of a lot of money. They're not going to fire Peyton either. They just brought him on. So they're kind of screwed. They better hope Peyton's got something up his sleeve. Mile High, Nicola would do better in football or basketball, in your opinion? Isn't he already in basketball? No. If you're talking about Jokic, no, basketball. Mike Smith, thanks, Buckeye in Texas, as you got him mad, and now he has to drain his bladder with his, prostrate acting up. You merciless bastard. Some bitch. The presidents want UNC, otherwise, I would say they are out. The only reason I think they get in, otherwise, you are right, and they will never speak on it until the legal issues are overcome. Well, we'll see. AR, maybe there's some out clause in the ACC grant of rights deal. Not sure. Well, the thing is with the grant of rights, it's owned by the ACC, and the ACC, they can kind of do what they want. All right, the grant of rights will say, well, it's got to be this long. Well, they can let you out. Well, the grant of rights will say, it's got to be this kind of money, but you can negotiate that. All deals are negotiable. Everything's negotiable. Mike Smith, I forgot to mention this last week during the West Virginia Pitt backyard brawl game. I noticed that ESPN was turning down the volume due to ear-splitting Pitt chants. Ear shit. Eat shit, Pitt chants. I don't doubt that. Mile high. Is TCU going to be the Big 12, be in the Big 12 with Colorado in 2024? Why would they not be? Because they are contractually bound to be, and they ain't leaving. AR, Notre Dame legends won't work in the Big 10. I don't think they ever go to the Big 10, to tell you the truth. I'll be surprised. A lot of people seem to think that's going to happen. It's inevitable. I'll believe it when I see it. The Big 10 has the best regional teams for Notre Dame. Has good academics for Notre Dame. I think the real reason Notre Dame does not like the Big Ten is that the Big Ten is strong enough not to put up with Notre Dame's diva shit. I don't know. They sure want to, though. They want to put up with it. They've been begging them for decades now. Arturo Balderos, everyone in the chat is going to tune in for the game to see Wolverines. I will not be there. I will not be there. AAR. Well, the Big Ten tried to exclude Notre Dame out of their club for decades. I don't know. They've been trying to get them in the Big Ten for decades, from what I understand. Ken Rivera. Does anyone even know what a Buckeye is? I think it's a P or something. Named after P. Mike Smith, I think most Big Ten games are boring. The whole Ohio State, Michigan really do nothing for me. Me either. A nut. Flower. I don't know if it's a Buckeye flower. I think Mike Smith or myself could be right. Peanut, whatever. Nicholas Boardman, what's up, dude? Virginia is AAU. Virginia Tech will be AAU in the next couple of years. Okay, so that means they're not. Their presidents want the Big Ten and will settle for the SEC. They will view Big 12 as a last resort. Again, you don't know that. I think that they would rather be in the Big Ten and the SEC. Yeah, as far as this last resort nonsense, I don't know if they see it as a negative last resort. I think they're like, hey, it's a better option than the ACC is what I think. AAR, well, the Oregon Ducks, USC Trojans, and UCLA Bruins coming in with UW Big Ten is going to pick up quick. I think I just have to agree. Mike Smith, I am joking. It is a tree. However, the only good Buckeye is a treat made out of chocolate and peanut butter in the shape of a big nut. Well, all trees start out as nuts there, Mike Smith. ACC is going to downgrade their TV deal real soon. Well, we'll see if that happens. It very well could. No could care less to watch the game. Big Ten football, damn boring. I don't know, because I don't mind low-scoring games or, defensive battles. I don't mind snow, ice, and all that. I don't mind any of that stuff. But I just don't. I'll watch the highlights. I'm watching teams I care about more. I think that's my whole thing. Pac-2 conferences lives. Pac-2 conference lives. It does for now. Buffs aren't the biggest thing in college football, but the biggest thing in sports right now. True enough. Jeff Woodward, Tupac going to split all that money 2 ways. Tupac. I like that. Tupac. I don't know what they're going to do. Ontario, Balderas, Tech, Ohio State, and Baylor are not who we thought they'd be. No. I thought a couple of them were dark horses, and Baylor could rebound. I just don't know. Tommy Boy from Sandusky. Oh, never saw Tommy Boy. I don't know. I wasn't in those two being the primary people in a movie. Maybe it's really good. I always keep hearing about it. Maybe I need to finally just shut up and watch it. TCU is going to win, my friend. Yeah, they will. I have no hate or dislike for TCU. They are just a better team than West Virginia right now. But I do think it's going to be close for the most part of that game. West Virginia is a higher quality opponent than SMU. Let's put it that way. Although SMU may have a little better quarterback. They do not have a better defense. AER, Utah's Utes coach already wants out of the Big 12 conference. I think that's some hyperbole. I don't know what it is about this locked on Big 12 guy. I mean, he's taking some of that, I think, a little out of proportion. So all he said was, we'll play him again in a few years. He probably thinks they could schedule him again in a few years. Maybe they already have him on the schedule in 3 or 4 years. They plan those schedules out way far in advance. I don't know. Well, either that or he thinks they can schedule them later on. I don't know. Whittingham has old man farts that jumps around thinking someone is after him. Colorado will score on USC, but will not keep up with USC. We'll see. I think it'll be interesting. I got Colorado pulling the upset. Baylor is last year's Colorado. Ooh. They just look done and defeated, especially since Utah game. Long Island was an asterisk. They really need to find a new coach. Oh, well, we'll see. Good Lord. AR will be rooting for the Buffaloes and Coach Prime Sanders, but it's likely USC Trojans 50, Buffs 22. Man, 50-22. Man, I think it'll be closer than that. Derek Marie, hello everyone. What's up, Derek? All right, Mike Smith. Buckeye in Texas. Colorado winning is a big ask. That's a tough matchup, and they play without Shiloh, and he is big on that back end. Yeah. But the thing is, like I said, USC does not have much of a defense either. They can't get after the quarterback like Oregon did. So it's going to be a much higher scoring game. All right. You went to the ER after the Oregon game, but I think they said he may be all right now. I just haven't seen him in practice this week in their videos. I gotcha. Never know. Do appreciate that update, though. Hey, what's up, Immaculate? Appreciate you. I think a Buckeye's the same as a chestnut. Who knows? Mike Smith, good job on the other show, Immaculate. I like that Bob guy. Who guys bring on Wellspring and Info and Expert.
I'm going to go and hitchhike home. If I die, it's your fault.
Sorry.
Your fault.
Okay. Sometimes it doesn't pay to be married. Actually, I think I saw Immaculate on Locked On Big 12. Locked On Big 12. Anyway, thought he did a good job. Not a bad looking guy either. I wouldn't kick him out of the sack. Immaculate. Fun fact, Buckeyes are poisonous. Oh. We ain't eating them. Yeah, he has been around. President of Fox Sports, founded the Big 10 Network. You know, he has been around. If you talk about Bob Thompson, I would donate to that show if you can get someone on there to ask him to send you autographed underwear just to see his expression. Yeah, Immaculate, I heard you were going to start your own show, man. Or have you already started your new show? I don't know. Let me know, dude. Donnie, the Buffaloes look better than the Broncos. Well, that's a tough one. I have to say, as far as who was the worst, I'd have to say Broncos. Just because that's the NFL and there's no excuse ever to give up 70. 70. My God. Speaking of getting a new coach, go Hawks. No. On a serious note, it might be cool to get him a card or something to send to his house to say thanks. Iowa want the K-State coach, Immaculate. Well, why the hell would you go to Iowa if you're the K-State coach there, Jeff? Jeff Woodworth, he would be number one on my list, but I try not to say too much. Some K-State folks might come find me. Yeah, they do have a little bit of a loyal fan base there. But if I'm trying to think of his name, can't think of his name. If I'm the Iowa State coach, if I'm the K-State coach, I'm not going to Iowa. Nope, turning that right down. Donnie, is it true Baylor turned down TCU's campus when they used to be in Waco? Is it true Baylor burned down TCU's campus when they used to be in Waco? That's just not a good joke, sir. I did like it. That would have been the federal government came in trying to burn their place down. Anyway, well, thank you, big guy. Well, you're welcome. If you're talking to me, yeah, Bob Thompson. Like, where can I see this immaculate Bob Thompson showdown? Casey Anthony got away with it, man. It's kind of hot too. A little wacko, but you know, sometimes they're the best. Schools thinking of leaving ACC would have to come up with 400 to 500 million to leave and retain media rights. OU, Oregon, Washington are only getting 40 million from the Big 10, and ACC teams project 30 plus million in 2024. Bad financial move. Well, like I said before, I know what you're talking about with the 400, 500 million. I think it would actually behoove the ACC to, make a good deal, because you're not going to get the 400 or 500 million no matter what. If they stay, you're not going to get it. And if they go, they're not going to go and pay that. So it'd be best just to work out a deal. If I'm the ACC, I tell them, look, 400 to 500 million. I've heard more than that. So I'd be like, look, 100 million each, you can tear your ass. Because, three of those schools, that's $300 million. $300 million. $300 million for the other 12 schools. And by the way, I'm probably not giving any of that to Notre Dame either. It's going to go to everybody else. So, Immaculate, if I started my own show, it might have to compete with your time slot, and I don't know if I would dare challenge the king of late night realignment talk. Well, I appreciate that. The only reason I chose like 9 o'clock is because of my work schedule, and I'm trying not to, get in the way of some other folks who come before me. Mike Smith, Holy Wars Immaculate is usually on that show. You might enjoy it. Jeff Woodworth, what is the best rivalry that isn't played anymore because of conference realignment? Oh, I don't know, Bedlam. That's only a rivalry because they're in the same state. Good night. Yeah, good night, Buckeye. Take it easy. There you go. Texas versus Texas A&M. OU versus Nebraska. Yeah, I guess those would be bigger ones, wouldn't they? They're so big, I forgot about them. But you're about to get Texas versus A&M again. So there's that. See here, Immaculate. I thought tonight's was under Big 12 Mafia show. The story I heard so as to why TCU doesn't like Baylor much. No. Mike Smith, I never know if the Big 12 Mafia or Holy Rivals. I snub one of the channels, but it also shows up on my query. I've watched a little bit of those, Big 12 Mafia and those guys. They're pretty good. I like them. AR, Clemson Tigers don't have the kind of cash. All right. Numbskull, you should come on sometime. I would. I'm free this week. I don't know those guys or how they operate or whatever. But yeah, I'm always down to self-promote my ass wherever. Jeff Whitworth, I appreciate that. Casey Anthony got away with it. Ohio State will be beaten up by Michigan again, and the Wolverines will spit on them, steal their lunch money, and stuff them in a garbage can. Well, we know who the damn Wolverine fans are around here. All right. AER likes the Big 12 Mafia. They will. Shit, I will make the intro. Okay, Immaculate. I'll go on that show. I don't mind. Numbskull, if you do go on the show, beware of the Wild Ute guy. He looks clean cut, all American, but I will lay money down that he is a serial killer. It's usually the clean cut ones, man. The ones that look like us, pretty friendly. We just look like we'll kill you. It's the little guys wanting to put little tracks of their cult on your front door. Those are the ones you got to watch out for. They're the ones that got all the frozen penises in the freezer there. Potato Mafia. Not a Wolverine fan, just hate the. I got you. The enemy of my friend is my friend. Unpopular opinion: Art Briles could have been Baylor's Nick Saban. Ooh, could have. They were really knocking on the door of being elite when he was there. True. That's probably when they were at their very, very best. It helps to have sometimes unhinged people playing for you. Immaculate, he is our super analytical guy. He makes the charts and graphs and stuff. Oh, okay. Sounds cool. Wild Ute, that is. Gotcha. Please tell me he's not that genetic guy that Greg argues with. Gotcha. Great coach. Great coach. Maybe not a great person. What's a little assault? Come on, we're winning games here. I'm not going to joke about it any more than that. It's not a jokeable thing, not a jokeable topic. My wife knew that I was kind of not taking it seriously. I'd probably get kicked in the junk. It's okay. She would rub it and make it feel better. Sorry, I probably missed it, but what do you think about the ACC talk today? It sounds pretty legit, immaculate. It sounds like, if you ask me, they added in those 3 new schools ACC did, Calford and SMU. They added them in for a reason. All right, it wasn't, and trust me, they pissed off their business partner. They pissed off ESPN by doing that. They know they did. ESPN ain't trying to spend money on SMU, ain't trying to spend money on Cal or Stanford. They're just not. They don't want to pay a full share for those assholes to go anywhere. But contractually, they got to because of the deal they have with the ACC. So that pissed them off. You don't want to piss off your business partner, but they did. And they did it for a reason. They did it to survive for a little while. They did it because they're going to work out a deal, I believe, to get Clemson, to get Florida State, UNC, and anyone else who wants to go, who can come up with an agreed exit amount. I'm going to call it around $100 million. And I know it's like, well, the exit fee is $400 or $500 million. What? You're never going to get that. I think it's $150 million. But with all the other BS, with all the TV rights and all that, it's a lot more. But they'll make a deal. They'll get them out at a reasonable amount of money, and the reason they're going to do that is because they're going to leave anyway, and you're going to save yourself a lot of court crap, a lot of court trouble, and maybe they find a loophole and get out. And if they do that, then you're out whatever money, unless the court says, well, it'd be, you got to pay them something, but that's an if. And if it's all the way to 2036, then you lose them for absolutely no money. And then you're just screwed. Then it's just, everyone trying to find a landing spot, including the Big 12. So, yeah, I think those 3 will leave. Now, will anyone come to the Big 12 out of there? I don't know. Does Virginia Tech have the money? And would they rather go to the Big 12 than stay in the ACC? How about Virginia? I actually think they might. Duke might rather go to the Big 12 than stay there. To them, it may just be embarrassing at that point. And the money's better in the Big 12, slightly better. It's not a ton better. The ACC Network is not forever because it's a cable business. And our deal is up in 2031. So if you think you will ever have a shot of getting to the SEC and the Big 10, like if you don't have a shot right now, you have a shot in 2031. And if you don't, then you're in an incredibly stable conference that's going to be making more money after 2031. So it's a good business move. Makes sense. Turo, Baylor chose to do the right thing, didn't sell out. They truly stand by their doctrine. Nope, they didn't. I don't know if there was a chance for them to. That's another thing. How did Virginia Tech get so bad? I would have to read a history book for that one. Let's see. Mike Smith, Prowse was 2 years away from coaching in the Big Ten Pervert Conference. Sorry, Immaculate. Oh, Coach Beamer left or retired, and Virginia Tech went to hell. Sometimes that does happen like that. You lose a big-time coach, and it's just hard to replace him. I think Iowa was the only school without a pervert thing going on, a gambling thing, sure, but not a pervert thing. I'll take I'll take the gambling. I'll take the gambling. Mike Smith, Tavon Austin. Boy, I had him on damn near every fantasy team when he was drafted, and I regretted it, but hell of a college player. Robert Griffin the turd. Thurston Malfoy. That's horrible. Mac, nice. 100 million is exactly what I say in that scenario. If 10 leave at that cost, that is $1 billion for the others to swim in like Scrooge McDuck. True. And it only makes sense, Immaculate. I mean, the small schools are going to be screwed. So what you got to do is get as much money now as you possibly can. Because a lot of these guys are going to either be having to merge with the American or just go to the American one day. That's the future. Look at the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is showing you how this is going to work. So it's better to be smart about this, not be a dumbass. But if those schools want out, let them out, because they're only going to hurt you later. So get what you can get out of them now. That's what I say. See, AAR, Clemson Tigers can probably come up with $100 million. Look at the Texas No-U deal. It's $50 million a piece, and they're not going to feel it. There's ways to do it that doesn't hurt you at all, because the payout doesn't have to be all at once. Well, there's 13 years left. It could be a 13-year payout. That's money every year that lands at all those other schools' feet every year. It doesn't have to be all at once. They could pay it out over 13 years. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. What is all this talk about Mr. Magoo, Mike Smith? Damn it. Oh, Casey Anthony got away with it. I do like the name. Is that Casey Anthony in the picture? Big 12 wants Louisville, Pitt, Virginia Tech, and Duke. I'd be good with those. I don't know if Louisville could pay that money, or Pitt. Maybe the other two. All right, guys, got to wrap it up. I got shit to do. Duty calls. Unfortunately, it's not sex, but
Really?
see y'all later.